everyone, and welcome to another royal reading. It is Heritage Day here in South Africa, which means that everyone is gathered together and barbecuing, which is how we express our heritage as a nation. So I don't have much time for you today, unfortunately, but I am going to do a couple of short readings, and this one is about that very bizarre media statement that Harry put out in, I think it was 2017, attacking the media for hounding his girlfriend Meghan Markle. It was put out while I think Prince Charles was out of the country away on a tour. It suddenly burst on the scene. The royals apparently were very dismayed by it, taken unawares by it. It was very irregular, and it came out of the blue, and it's the first time that I think anyone had ever heard of Meghan Markle in connection with Prince Harry as his girlfriend. It was very surprising. It was very aggressive. He had previously had quite a good relationship with the media, and it was all just quite startling, as I keep saying. And Valentine Low has just written an article about it in the Times, and saying that up until now the real reason for that statement hasn't been known. It wasn't about the press hounding Meghan Markle so much as about the fact that Prince Harry was scared of losing her. He was convinced that Meghan was going to leave him, as his previous girlfriends had left him. He was blaming the press, she was blaming the press, and it's all a bit peculiar. The first thing that's peculiar about it is why this has come out now. And again, I think that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle have denied it, but there haven't been any lawyers' letters as far as I can tell. I haven't really had time to dig around and do my usual research today, and I apologize for that. But I can still read on the situation, because I can still ask what was going on. Did Harry really believe that Meghan was going to dump him? What was she up to? We all know how it ended, of course, in an engagement and a very quick wedding. But I also want to know how Harry feels about it now, because Meghan was claiming she was being hounded, that photographers were harassing her in Toronto, and none of those claims turned out to be true. Allegedly, let's say that police records show that they went and investigated, and there wasn't anybody that was hounding her, following her, all the rest of it. It all was a bit staged and a bit fake. And so I want to know how he feels about it now. Does he believe it still, or have his eyes opened to the fact that perhaps she over-egged the situation to get him to come up with a statement and to consolidate her position as royal girlfriend? So, Santa Muerte Tarot coming up today. Yes, I know it's a shiny box. Let's try and get the non-shiny bit in so that those of you who are interested in the deck can see what it's called. There it is. I thought we'd use it because he seemed to think, Harry, that the press involvement, harassment of Meghan Markle was going to end the affair. And of course it didn't. The statement came out, burst on the scene, and everyone backed off. Meghan Markle's reputation was cleaned up in record time on the internet, allegedly. Suddenly she was seen everywhere, and the humanitarian, the women's rights campaigner, speaking at the UN, all of that, her PR went into overdrive, and as I say, royals were stitched up, and there it was, that bizarre wedding, the corpse bride, as some people like to call it. Their opinion, and all of this my opinion. So with the Santa Muerte Tarot, here we go, 5-card reading. We're going to look at how Harry felt at the time, what Meghan was up to herself. Why has this now become an issue? Why is Valentine Low suddenly writing about something that happened, goodness, 5 years ago, if not more? What's up with that? And how does Harry feel about this whole situation now? And we get the King of Wands in reverse, which is an angry man snoring in the background. Tess, an angry King of Wands, a very angry man. And that is the energy of that statement. Very aggressive, very dramatic, very melodramatic. Quite aggressive, quite surprising, poor leadership. When the King of Wands is in the upright, he's a very good leader. He motivates people, but when he's in the reverse, he frightens people, he upsets people, he stirs up all the wrong emotions in people. So that's what the media statement did. And from then on, it's been a war, really, between the King of Wands in reverse and in the British press. So the situation, what was the situation at the time? The High Priestess is secrets, and there she is. Doesn't she look like Meghan herself? Sitting there conjuring this all up with her book of spells. Oh, it's giving me the creeps, this picture. I'm going to put it away and not look at it. But the High Priestess is all about secrets. She had a lot to hide, Meghan Markle, allegedly, and many things in her past that needed to be swept away. As I said in my preamble, she needed to buy herself time to sweep those things away and to muzzle the press. It was the start of muzzling the press, because the High Priestess is also about silence. She wanted to silence the press, she wanted to muzzle them, and she was using her tricks, according to the cards, tarot reading, entertainment purposes only, or my opinion. She was using her book of spells, her magic tricks, to silence them. The High Priestess is about magic, in the feminine power of magic, not like the magician, the masculine power of magic. This is using your intuition, using secrets, using silence, using cold treatment, using dirty tricks, female dirty tricks. Even though she's upright, she is secretive when she comes into this negative energy, as she does in this card for me. Not normally the energy one gets with a High Priestess. Normally just mysterious, intuitive, secretive, silent, deep. But here, sneaky as well, in my opinion. So how did Harry feel about this? He'd lost Chelsea, he'd lost Cressida, he blamed the press for it all, not his own self, didn't look in the mirror and think perhaps he had something to do with it. It was all the press. I think it was Cressida who said that he imagined photographers under every bush, sneaking up on them, watching them, spying them. He was absolutely paranoid about the press. So how was he feeling when he came out with this statement? King of Cups in reverse, very, very upset, very emotional. He was being played emotionally by the High Priestess, sitting there looking evil, beyond evil. He was being played, his emotions were being exploited with that King of Cups in reverse. Emotions, of course, about the girlfriends that had walked out on him because they didn't want to be in the limelight, they didn't want to be married to a prince, they didn't want to live that life. But also, of course, what happened to Mummy. We all know what's happened to Mummy, and the High Priestess knows what happened to Mummy. And so he was being really, his buttons were being pushed, he was being triggered, as we now say. And so, what was she up to? Are we at the Four of Cups? Very interesting, because it is the rejection card. So she was literally saying to him, I will reject you if you don't do this. It is literally the rejection card. You can go look it up on websites that do give you meanings of tarot. Some very good websites. Biddy Tarot is one of them. If you're learning tarot and you want upright meanings and reversed meanings and thorough explanations of cards, it is the card of rejection. It's saying, no, you can offer me your cup of love, but I'm going to reject it with the Four of Cups. I'm going to say no, I'm going to push that cup away. And it's a sort of sulky, dissatisfied energy. You're not doing enough to protect me, Haz. You're not good enough for me. You're not working hard enough. You're not trying hard enough. Manipulate. Very clear, these cards are shrieking the energy and the pressure that he was put under by her and her, possibly, in my opinion, things like NLP that people say she may well know about. So all kinds of techniques possibly being used by that High Priestess to press those buttons to trigger him. She was definitely threatening to leave him. She was definitely threatening to walk away. My opinion, of course, had no intention of doing that, but it was very cunning. exploitation, a cunning plan, and it worked like a bomb. Royals had to back down. They were suddenly powerless to deal with the situation, and she got exactly what she wanted, which was that £30 million wedding in that ill-fitting dress, with a fly sitting on her as she sat there in the chapel. So why now? Why is Valentine Low coming out with this story now? That the real reason for it all was that, sorry about the shine there, that Harry was afraid of leaving her. It's come out in the reverse, the Six of Pentacles. In unfairness in a situation, someone giving more to a situation and someone taking from a situation, something being out of balance when the Six of Pentacles pops up in a reading in the reverse, someone exploiting a situation, someone taking from a situation. So he somehow feels it's safe enough now to come out with this this piece of information, possibly because of what is in the book. And somebody wanting to set the record straight that what was heard at the time was not true, was a misrepresentation, was an unfair representation of the situation. Six of Pentacles, when it's upright, is a well-balanced situation. It's sharing, it's equitable, it is a generous card, but it's in the reverse, it's mean-spirited, it's unfair, it is taking from a situation, it's treating the press unfairly, being in the wrong about something, really, the Six of Pentacles. And Valentine Low obviously feels that he can now say this, and I speculate, and this is pure speculation on my part, because there is a book sitting in that picture, because there is a book coming out. Harry's book is coming out, and Harry, of course, is going to have his say about what he thought was going on. And seems to me that Valentine Low wants to start a conversation about what was really going on and what was really the motivation behind that statement. The interesting card, it's a complex card, I would say. It's the hidden energy. There's layers of complexity going on in the world right now, in the royals right now, and the messages that are coming out, being dripped out, and some quite startling things coming out at the moment. I know the reading that I did yesterday, the X and Y reading, upset some of you. You thought that it wasn't a subject that should be read on. Also, a lot of you felt that the situation with Meghan herself as a person, she's so awful that I was being overly sympathetic to her in the reading. I'm always curious to know why people take the paths that they do, what puts them into this energy, as this energy that is screaming out of this card. And I think that reading went some way to explain it, but let's get back to this reading. Don't know why I went on that detour. Anyway, let us see how Prince Harry feels about this now. We know how he felt then, King of Cups in reverse. How does he feel about it now? Does he believe that the press were hounding Meghan Markle way back when? Does he still believe that? Five of Pentacles. I don't think so. I don't think so. Look at that ruin that has come from this. With that Five of Pentacles, it's a very graphic card. It's a very ugly card. That person literally walking over all those skulls. There's been a lot of devastation as a result of the story, as a result of this press release. All hell broke loose. It did really let loose the hounds of hell, because nobody could stop the wedding after that. They couldn't. They would be accused of being racist. The press were tied, their hands were tied. Everything that they had apparently gathered, and allegedly there was a dossier that the Daily Mail was sitting on, ready to burst open, all had to be shut up. She got her wish, the High Priestess. But now, that man, and it's a man walking over those skulls, he's walking over the dead, he's walking over all those corpses. What has he lost because of this? He's lost first of all, his family. He's lost his status. He's lost his country. He's lost his friends. He's lost his reputation. And he is literally exiled. The Five of Pentacles is about exile from all your comforts, from all your happiness, from your security. he's impoverished, he's possibly ill. It's a card of illness as well. And we all see signs of illness, mental disorder at least, and don't have to. I'm not a mental health expert. I'm not making a diagnosis here. There's a lot of ruin in this card, in this Five of Pentacles, that he now sees. I don't think he believes for 1 second that she was being hounded, that she was in any danger, that her life was being put into turmoil. So I think he rues the day that he, in a very hot-headed way, King of Wands in reverse, put that statement out and accused the media of hounding the High Priestess, who was pulling the strings behind the scenes in her very sneaky way to manipulate him and get the result that she wanted. And it'll be very interesting to see what he says about it in his book, if that book ever sees the light of day, because people are already taking preemptive measures with that Six of Pentacles, with Valentine Lowe and his article in the Times, and starting to say that what was said was unfair and a misrepresentation of the truth, and not at all the situation that may be described in future. So interesting cards. Thank you for watching, and let me get on with the next reading. Hope to see you there.